the process of photosynthesis. The equation for photosynthesis is 6CO2 plus 12H2O plus sunlight equals C6H12O6 plus 6O2 plus H2O, or 6 carbon dioxide 2 plus 12 water plus sunlight equals carbon 6, helium 12, oxygen 6 plus 6 oxygen 2 plus water.
Yesterday it was rainy, and the leaf absorbed lots of little water drops, which today he will use to create food. This process is called photosynthesis. Along with water, the leaf will also use sunlight and carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide comes from animals exhaling. After the leaf mixes these ingredients together, it will create glucose, a type of sugar. The glucose is the leaf's food source or energy.
There are many different kinds of cells in a leaf, each specialized to do different things for the plant. On the top and bottom are the cuticle layer and epidermal cells. In the middle, between the epidermis cells on the top and the bottom, are mesophyll cells, where chloroplasts are located. There are two kinds of mesophyll cells in our typical leaf. The ones you see in the leaf section above are packed close together and are in the palisade region. The chloroplasts are where photosynthesis happens. Each one of them is a carbohydrate factory. There are about 5 to 10 microns across. A micron is 1/1,000,000th of a meter. Some plant cells have 50 or more chloroplasts, but others only have 1. Inside the chloroplasts are stacks of tiny thylakoids called grana, plural for granum. This is where photosynthesis actually takes place. There are actually 2 stages of photosynthesis: the light reactions that occur in the thylakoid membrane in space, and the dark reactions or carbon cycle. Light reactions. The thylakoid membrane contains the pigment chlorophyll, which makes plants appear to be green, and carotenoids, the red, orange, and yellow pigments we see in the fall. Pigments are chemical compounds which reflect only certain wavelengths of visible light. More important than the reflections of visible light is the ability of pigments to absorb certain wavelengths of light, because they interact with light to absorb only certain wavelengths. Pigments are useful to plants.
Chester the bunny is enjoying a nice crunchy piece of lettuce. This bunny is a heterotroph. In fact, all animals are heterotrophs. A heterotroph means consumer, or an organism that does not make its own food. So it eats autotrophs as food. An autotroph is an organism that makes its own food, such as a leaf or some kinds of fungi. This lettuce provides vital nutrients and vitamins for the bunny, giving the bunny lots of energy to jump and play all day.
If you want to know how a plant grows, it takes water, air and sunlight and makes cellulose. Every plant can do this fundamental process, and we can call this photosynthesis. Unlike me and you, plants need CO2, and they make oxygen that stops us turning blue. Every plant can do this fundamental process, and we can call this photosynthesis. It's a miracle how all the chlorophyll captures sunlight in the leaves of the plants and the trees. A plant of any size can do it if it tries, but we're not green, so we can't photosynthesize. Every plant can do this fundamental process, and we can call this photosynthesis. It's a miracle how all the chlorophyll captures sunlight in the leaves of the plants and the trees. Every plant can do this fundamental process, and we can call this photosynthesis. Every plant can do this fundamental process, and we can call this photosynthesis. Photosynthesis.